There's a new sheriff in town. We're going to take a look at his place. Sorry, 50 different jokes ran through my head at once. I couldn't decide which one to do, especially ones that were kind of safe for YouTube. So you get something kind of boring. This is one of the rebuilds for the Welcome to Rock Ridge set. As I've said on a few other videos, I'm relaunching that set with a few additional options to kind of add to it, make it something a little bit new, something a little more unique. There's a complete rescale that has gone through on these so that they better fit the figures. So these are now scaled for figures like the Wild West Exodus figures or the Blackwater Gulch ones. Something a little more traditional in the cowboy scaling, something closer to the 25mm scale, 25 to 28mm scale that they are. And yes, I know that the Wild West Exodus ones are 35mm. So they do fit in. If you actually scale, whoops, dropping stuff. If you scale based off of the figure itself, without the base, they fit in perfectly. And then when you add the base, they also fit in. So you're covered either way. So this one is a redo of the little single-story adobe building that I had done before. And it's a pretty neat size. Big changes for this one are the windows have been changed slightly so it just fits the figures a little bit better. So the heights on the windows are a lot closer to what the figures would actually be. Other things is it still retains the removable roof, but I've also added in a full bottom. The old version of them didn't include the full bottom. These do now, which is a nice add-on. So I was talking to some people and they're like, yeah, we want to be able to walk into the buildings. So this way we added the full bottom for the buildings. Of course, it still comes with the signs. This one I just did the engraved sign on, or just the line art sign on, but we can do really anything with the signs. And in fact, we even have a custom sign package that you can order. Probably the biggest add-on to this one, though, seeing how we did go through and do the redesign on it, we added an optional interior piece to turn it into a jail. So you get this little extra section with the walls, or with the bars and everything else in it. It's kind of neat. Adds a little more character, and this piece just slides in. So it just slides into the building, and then you have it in your building. So the building is all set. You can even see through the doors and stuff that fits in there. So I'll bring this up a little, let you see from down on top. I'll bring this a little closer. You can see it just slides in there. There's even an additional back window that has bars in it. In fact, I have one. I have another one of these because a lot of these buildings you build 3 and 4 of as you're testing. But that one even has the bar pieces in it. So, and you'll get the bar pieces with it. Yeah. So this is another one of them that I did when I was first setting them up. So this adds a little more detail, something a little bit different. Again, neat little building. Go ahead and put the top back on this one. The roof on this one is slightly slanted, but it's not so much that you can't put figures on top, as with all of them. I tried to make sure that they were a playable building first and foremost, just so you had those options so that you're not getting a piece of terrain that you can't do anything with, or that's kind of cumbersome to work with. So that's the first of the core buildings, which is the adobe brick building, little one-story brick building. Let's see if we can look at some of the other buildings that are part of the core set. Should look a little bit familiar if you're familiar with the previous set. So this is the standard one-story house. Again, it was a slight redesign just to do some scaling changes. I went with a little bit different setup on this one as opposed to being boards. I just went with a little bit more open design on it. Still maintains the flat roof structure and enough room for you to fit your taller figs in. Other things with it, it does come with different marquee fronts. So this is with the square front. There's also a curved top front and a peaked top front available. I think this one comes with the square and the peaked. Or excuse me, the square and the rounded. The peaked one is a separate option. But this one again I went to something a little bit different on the back. I decided to put a nice large picture style window at the back of this building as opposed to the normal small ones. It's got a removable roof, and the interior floor is included in this one as well. So if you wanted to, if you have other bits of terrain that you wanted to add to it, like for example, if you wanted to add furniture, for lack of a better term, into it, you could. So it's a nice little set. This one, the roof on it is unfortunately at a 45-degree angle, so you can't really put stuff on the inside. So to counter that, what I did is I included another copy of the same building. And these two are both the same building, believe it or not. Just two different ways of building the kit, and the kit gives you all the different options. I included these little dormers that you can add onto it. Nice thing with the dormers, when you add them on, you now have a flat spot to put models. So if you wanted to have that sniper on the rooftop, you could actually do it with this one without having to worry about your models falling and those sorts of things. So that's one version of the single story, and this one again has the curved top as opposed to the squared top. But we actually added a new single story building. So let me get this one all set up here. We added another single story building. Okay, so this one again, same style front where it is removable, so you can build it as just a peaked roof building or without. This one I included a smaller front porch and a larger picture window. So this one could be anything from somebody's house to a small general store. The windows are a little bit more decorative, so there's a little bit more to them. So it just gives you a few more options with the way that they're designed. This one I actually went through and added some extra pieces. It's got the one flat side, so you can change the order on them. If you decided that this building is actually a square design, so if you wanted to, you could actually rotate it any direction and decide which one you want the front. Removable roof. This one I even went as far as to add a kind of a decorative center brace in. And then your open interior. So this gives you, again, more options on how you want to play with these. So if we put the fig on the inside, see the figures through the windows pretty nicely. And we'll even see if you can see that one through the back window. That's kind of hard to see. But, so, that's one of the new ones. And again, if you wanted to, I mean, when you were building this one, you could essentially say, okay, that's now the front of the building. So you have different options on how you build, and it's just a matter of which pieces you decide to say are the front and which ones you decide to say are the back. You can even just one game play with it with this being the front, the next game play with it being this one being the front. So you have different options, just different ways of mixing up the game. It does fit the same dormer that we use on the other one. This roof is a little bit shallower, although I wouldn't really want to put a fig on there. There's just too much of an angle. So those are two of the new ones. The third one I'm actually, I think we can knock the third one out in 2 minutes. Let's see. This is the third core building, which is the two-story one. Now this one went through an extensive redesign. First thing you'll notice is that it's a little bit smaller. I actually made it a little bit smaller, but in making it, I made it about an inch shorter overall length. But in that, it allowed me to do some stuff that I wasn't able to do with the first one. For example, the balcony staircase is now included with the kit as opposed to being a separate part. Before that was something separate that you had to buy. It fits either on the front or either side. It's kind of nice, and it's designed as a single unit. So if you wanted to on this one, because I've been doing demos and everything else with it, it's all glued together, you can actually do it as a separate piece. So if you wanted to leave them separate. Same thing with the front porch. The front porch on this one can be done as a separate piece. So, running out of time on this video, so I'll just give you kind of a quick run around on the outside of the building, and then we'll do a separate video showing you in detail what's new on this building and what sets it apart from the old version and why it's an improvement. Anyway, got to do kind of the ending credits. To find out more, check us out at www.burnindesigns.net. You can find us here or at Facebook at facebook.com/burnindesigns, or on Twitter at Burn-In Designs. There are links and everything else below. Take care. Have a good one, guys.